UFC 300, 2 days away. I'm so excited. This card is a historic event in the sport of MMA, and I look forward to it very, very much. Almost all of these fights are pay-per-view worthy. Even the early prelims, you gotta tune in. Every single fight is going to be good. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but we'll talk about that throughout these predictions. We're going to go through and talk about each one of these fights, break them down, and I'm going to give my predictions, and we're going to just break them down as much as we can. And if you guys have any feedback or anything, let me know in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Let's get straight into it with Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. This is a very fun fight to start the card on. First of all, Cody Garbrandt, why do you have so many fans? I really don't get it. You had like 25 good minutes where you looked incredible against Dominic Cruz, and other than that, you've been getting knocked out cold, or you've been having boring fights where you just dance. So that's one thing I know for sure is we're gonna get to see Cody Garbrandt dancing around in there. He's gonna be acting cocky. Like every time Davison misses, he's gonna point at him. He's gonna hit him with the little point. You know, emote. He's gonna hit so many emotes. It's gonna be crazy, and he might make it boring. But Davison Figueiredo doesn't have boring fights. He pressures forward. He puts his hands down like a crazy man. Cody can definitely knock him out. I think he totally has the power, and he's bigger, and it's a bigger weight class than Davison's been used to. But we've seen it time and time again where these guys come up from a weight class and just revitalize their entire careers. I mean, Davison Figueiredo was an incredible flyweight. I mean, I rooted for him the entire time against Moreno. I think he's one of the most savage dudes in the sport. For 5'5", represent, you know. But I'm gonna take Davison Figueiredo. I I think the odds are pretty stacked for him. He's a pretty big favorite, but I think this is closer than that. A lot closer than it seems. I think Cody could totally land something. Davison's 36 years old, so maybe he doesn't take the shots the same. I don't think Davison makes a title run here at bantamweight. Bantamweight's the most competitive division in the sport. So I don't see Davison Figueiredo or Cody Garbrandt at any point for the rest of their careers making any sort of title run. But I think Davison Figueiredo is just going to be faster. He takes shots better. And if he gets down to the ground, I think Davison can submit anyone. So we're going Davison Figueiredo. I think he knocks out Cody Garbrandt in the early second round after a scrappy first round. Okay, on to the next one. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I'm going with Jim Miller here. Uh, Bobby Bobby Green is good. Okay, but that fight against Jalen Turner that he had is career-altering damage. That will change your chin forever. I can't trust his chin. Jim Miller's been in this game for so long. He understands how to deal with a crafty style like Bobby Green. Jim Miller is so well rounded. He does a little bit of everything. He's not the best at anything, but I think he's gonna just. I don't think Bobby Green throws with the most heat, and I think Jim Miller is just gonna be able to deal with that. He's just going to be able to walk him down a little bit, not be afraid of the power of Bobby Green. and I think he might land something big and knock Bobby Green out cold. I think it happens in the first round, honestly. I do not trust Bobby Green's chin. If he didn't get chin like that in his last fight, maybe I would choose him. It's still really hard. I don't love Bobby Green's style. I think he could get wrestled by Jim Miller. He could get outstruck. It's just two crafty vets. It's going to be a fun little scrap while it happens. On to the next one. Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. I'm going with Marina Rodriguez. I just don't like Jessica Andrade's form as of late. It really hasn't been that impressive. Yeah, she knocked out Mackenzie Dern, but before that, she was on a three-fight losing streak to Tatiana Suarez, Yan Xiaonan, and Erin Blanchfield. She made Erin Blanchfield look like a good striker, and we just found out that's totally not true. Uh, but at the end of the day, I mean, you know, I, I I'm going with Marina Rodriguez. She actually has decent striking, and if you make it look like some of these girls fight like they do, like Erin Blanchfield, if you make her look that good, Marina Rodriguez is actually good. So she's a Muay Thai practitioner. She's 17-3. She's a little bit older, but I just trust her. I don't trust what I've seen out of Andrade lately. So Marina Rodriguez, boring decision probably. On to the next one. Jalen Turner versus Juanato Moicano. Moicano wants money. You know what I'm saying? And I do too. And that is why I am going Moicano by submission in the second round. Jalen Turner, he's scary. He's 6'3". He's an absolute monster at this lightweight division. 6'3" is an absolute weight bully at 155 pounds. He's a southpaw fighter, which is tricky. But Moicano is so good at submissions on the ground. His jiu-jitsu is elite. His pressure is great. He's grown up a lot, and I just like his energy. Jalen Turner has been he's 14-7. Let's not forget that. People act like this guy's a Terminator, even though he's a weight bully. Like he should be a Terminator. At 6'3", long wingspan, 77-inch reach. You're 26, 27. You should be entering your prime. So maybe Moicano's too old. He's 34. But I don't think so. I think that Moicano is entering like his peak. I don't think he's a championship contender at any point. I love the dude. He's funny. He interacts with his fans, and I appreciate that. But I'm taking him because I think he is the more impressive guy. Uh, I just don't like Jalen Turner's losses. Um, Dan Hooker, love him. Dan Hooker, funny dude, but he hasn't been him. It looked like he was on the tail end of his career going into this Turner fight. I mean, yeah, he laid a head kick that would have knocked out 80% of people in that first round from Jalen Turner. I was there. That was a crazy fight. One of the fights of the year. But then Gamrot before that. I don't know. Of course, he knocked out Bobby Green, but Bobby Green's been just like a road man, you know? He's just been sort of middling for his whole career. So I'm gonna go with Moicano. If you want money, Moicano gives you money. There you go. On to the next one. Diego Lopez versus Sadiq Yusuf. I love Diego Lopez. He hasn't his style is very reminiscent of a young Charles Oliveira. He likes to just sort of go forward. He's not afraid to get taken down in the slightest. He's not afraid to get in the fire and throw bombs. I feel like Sadiq Yusuf, it's going to be a really tough fight for him, though. Sadiq is pretty good, really good. Um, 13-3. He lost to Edson Barbosa. He lost to Arnold Allen, which aren't bad losses, but Edson Barbosa was at the tail end of his career, you know. Um, he hasn't fought in like almost a half a year. I don't like that. Diego Lopez has been staying active. I trust him if it gets down on the ground at any point to submit Sadiq Yusuf. I just doubt that Sadiq is seeing guys like Diego Lopez on the mats enough to know what to do, you know? So I'm going with Diego Lopez by, I think he's going to rock him bad on the feet at some point. And then from there, I think he takes him down to the ground and submits him easily, you know? But, I mean, Sadiq's going to be a tough challenge. This is really a tough challenge. Sadiq is not as good as Masvar, and there's just an argument for Diego Lopez winning that fight. There really is. That was a very competitive fight. He took that on short notice, and he just looks so confident right now. He's bringing in the hair. The hair's a vibe. Let's go on to the next one. Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Boo! Boo! Okay. This is the worst fight on the card. Not even close. It's going to be a stink fest. Kayla Harrison is going to ragdoll Holly Holm, and when she's not, it's going to be a lot of clinching against the side of the fence. But Kayla Harrison, she's one of the only females in MMA that take like real takedowns in MMA. Like the way she shoots is just different from all these other females. And so I just think she's gonna like Holly Holm's not gonna be used to seeing that on a day-to-day basis. Kayla Harrison, one of the best wrestlers in women's combat sports ever. I'm gonna take her. She's a massive favorite for a reason. And on to the next one. Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. I'm still so 50-50 on this fight. I'm going to make a decision in a second. I'm going to talk about it a little. Aljamain Sterling, he's had so much hate in his career from people that he's a cool dude though. Like he does his own podcast now and he does his own stuff on YouTube. I think he's a cool dude. And he has not the best style. I mean, he's backpack man, but he pushes an insane pace, which no matter what you're doing with an insane pace, it's usually going to end up with exciting fights. You know, there's going to be exciting results. Calvin Kattar is coming off a pretty bad injury, you know? Uh, he's 36. I don't like featherweights at 36. I do love Calvin Kattar. I mean, he almost beat Zabit back when Zabit was that guy, you know? Aljamain is not that guy. I don't think he's going to win a championship at featherweight. Um, but, man, I think I'm going to go with Aljamain Sterling, though. I don't like coming off that kind of injury from Calvin Kattar, off for 8 months. Hasn't fought since 2022. Man, 36 years old. Just all the signs are pointing against Calvin Kattar. Aljamain Sterling, new weight class. This is kind of the weight class for him. He's a little short, but he's well built. He's muscle bound. Uh, I think he's going to do really well in this fight. He might get cracked. He might get hurt. Who knows? Maybe Sean O'Malley messed up his chin. But I'm taking Aljamain Sterling, submitting Calvin Kattar in the second round is what I would say. I could see that. I could see it being a good first round from Calvin, and then Aljo gets him down. Calvin tries getting back up, and Aljo gets his back. And it's backpack, 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 you know? Yeah, Aljamain Sterling, submission, second round. Book it. On to the next one. Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. Bro. I want to take Yuri. I want to. Yuri's my dude. It is a antenna. It sends me the moves in the middle of the fight, my hair. It is an antenna. I'm going to go to the woods, and I'm going to sit in silence in a dark room for years, for all year, because I could not move my head in last fight, but it will not change my fighting style, not one bit. I love Yuri. Yuri's hilarious. He's literally a samurai, and he's just so funny to watch. But he's a top 5 most exciting fighters in the UFC. But Rakic isn't. Rakic is boring. He's a leg kick. He'll spam leg kicks. He hasn't fought in a while, it feels like. When did Rakic last fight? Maybe I'm capped. 2022 is the last time Rakic fought. You know what? Yuri Prohaska is going to sleep this man. Out cold, left hook, spinning elbow. At the same time, it's going to be brutal. First round, Rakic is not ready for this pace after 2 years off. No one is. There is going to be a little bit of, okay, time to fight. And Yuri's already in your face. He's going to be throwing big bombs. Rakic is going to just be like, oh, I just want to leg kick you, please. Can I please leg kick you? I don't know how Rakic even sounds. Boring personality, doesn't say anything to the media. Come on, let's figure that out. Because you have some crazy knockouts. But I got Yuri. I didn't know the time between fights was that long. 2 years is too long for me. Rakic is 32, the older man. Maybe he's better than ever. Because originally I was going to go with Rakic by boring leg kick decision. Leg kick Yuri a couple times, but 2 years is a long time. I'm going with Yuri. KO. And then Rakic will be back in a couple of months, and maybe he'll be back where he was. Maybe he won't. People sometimes aren't the same after they fight Yuri Prohaska. On to the main event, main card. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I don't even have to talk about this one. This is a wrap. Bo Nickel won. You can put that on your bingo card. You can, whatever. It's already predetermined. That is the middle space of the bingo card. He is a minus 2,500 favorite. Cody Brundage is a mailman or a dump truck operator. I don't know. But he ain't a UFC caliber fighter. That's all I know. So I'm taking Bo Nickel, take him down immediately, beat him up, knock him out, whatever he wants to do. It's Bo Nickel's world. We're all living in it. First round finish, knockout, submission, whatever, whatever. On to the next one. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Saryukian. I used to be such a big Arman guy, like with how competitive he was with Islam. But now he's going against my boy Charles Oliveira's gonna knock this man out. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Arman, you're a soy boy. Okay? A soy boy. Okay? Those little Peter Pan kicks ain't gonna do nothing to do Bronx. Champion has a name, okay? You guys all doubt my boy Charles. You do. I know you do. I just think that these fights, Charles is just gonna be such a fan favorite in there. He's gonna get the biggest pop. I think that he's probably the second or third biggest star on this card. You know, he was such an electric champion, my favorite fighter of all time. Yes, am I being a little biased? But I truly believe Charles can beat Arman. I've watched both of their entire careers back to figure this out. I think Charles is a much better striker. I think that Arman takes a lot of bad single leg shots. And you know who has the best guillotine in the entire sport? Charles Oliveira. That is the only man in the sport that I trust to latch on a guillotine on a single leg and just pull guard. Because even if he doesn't land that, he's going to get the arm triangle that's right behind it, or he's going to omoplata you, and then he's going to have your back, and then you're in a rear naked choke, and then the fight is over. Because you know what Charles Oliveira does more than any fighter in UFC history? He beats people up and he knocks them out. He submits them. He has the most finishes in the entire sport, the most submissions in the entire sport. Arman Saryukian is going to decisions. He, I mean, he's knocking people out. Okay, but Dariush, old man, Charles had just knocked him out. Bad knockout. He came back fast, faster than he should have before Charles did. 4 months before Charles came back, And man, losing to Gamrot, not all that special. Like there was a time where Gamrot was the future, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I don't think that Arman is going to be able to compete on the feet. He is going to have to take some desperate shots. He's going to get pressured so heavily by Charles Oliveira. Oliveira is never going to be afraid to get taken down. Maybe he gets chinned. Maybe Arman does throw out one of those little cute Peter Pan kicks and it lands on Charles' chin. And, Charles, I love him, but he's a little chin. He's a little chin. He can get hurt. He gets hurt in every fight, every single fight. Um, Sorry, I hit the mic. But yeah, I'm going Charles Oliveira by knockout in the second round. First round. First round knockout. Charles Oliveira. Book it. On to the next one. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Man, this is another one that's been so hard for me all week. But I've consistently stayed on the Justin Gaethje side. I think that a lot of people are changing their pick because of these pictures of Max bulking, and yes, he looks good, but we don't know what that means. It could just mean he's a little stronger in the clinch. Could mean that he doesn't have as good of cardio because he's more muscle bound, and that it's just a fact that muscle takes energy. So there's got to be a point where Max Holloway's chin goes. And yeah, Justin hasn't really been knocking people out lately, but he hurt almost everyone. He hurt Charles, he hurt Michael Chandler, he knocked out Dustin Poirier. I mean, Habib said that his leg got hurt. He messed up Rafael Fiziev. I mean, he hurts everyone. It's just a fact that he lands bombs. He's the hardest hitting guy at 155 pounds. No, it's not Conor McGregor. Um, so I don't know. I just see Justin Gaethje throwing one of those meaty right hooks, swinging for the bleachers. I don't think he puts out Max with one shot, you know? Max is going to stumble and bumble his way to the cage. Justin's going to leg kick him. And then he's going to throw an uppercut, big meaty uppercut. Because everything Justin throws is crazy power. And I could just see something like that happening in multiple rounds. And I think eventually the ref is going to be forced to step in between them. For however this fight goes, I don't think either of them. I think Justin can knock out Max, but I don't think Max is going to knock out Justin Gaethje per se. It's going to be like a standing TKO. I just see it so similar to the Tony Ferguson fight for Justin Gaethje. Max Holloway is better than Tony. Okay, don't get me wrong. But he stays in that pocket too much, and Justin's really good at like ducking, and then he'll come up with his hooks. He comes up with his weapons ready, and I think he's going to land. Max is probably going to have. I mean, Justin gets hurt in every fight too. This is going to be one of the greatest fights of all time, possibly, if Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje truly just stand in the middle. I don't think anyone shoots. It's the BMF. If anyone were to shoot, it's Max, just because Justin has openly said that wrestling does gas him. So I'm going with Justin Gaethje by late rounds, knockout, fourth, fifth round. It's going to be a banger. Banger alert. On to the next one. Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. Sorry about the cut. I had an issue, but we're all good now. But Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. I'm going with Zhang Weili. No female has muscle inserts like that. So I'm going to take Zhang Weili by decision. Yan Xiaonan, just not the most impressive, honestly. But losing to Carlos Barza by knockout is rough, man. Yeah, we're going to go with Zhang Weili. Easy dubs. Probably finish her at some point. Maybe a boring decision. On to the main event of the evening. Jamahal Hill versus Alex Poetan Pereira. Shama. I think I'm gonna go with Alex Pereira now. I just think that Jamal Hill has terrible footwork. He crosses his feet too much. He does too much. And I think coming off an Achilles is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Jamal Hill hits hard. I mean, every time I pick against him, I go through the footage again to think about it some more. And then I see the Johnny Walker knockout, and I'm just like, dang, imagine that to Alex that he hits like that. I could see the same Looney Tunes old knockout. But I think Alex Pereira is going to land a left hook. Jamal Hill gets hit a lot in his fights. and I just don't trust him coming off an Achilles tear. I think he's a great dude, a great fighter, but Alex has been at the top of combat sports for so long. You can't overlook the amount of experience Alex Pereira has at the highest level. There's no way he's nervous. Jamal Hill is going to think about his Achilles at some point during this fight, 100%. He's going to take a leg kick and he's going to be like, I took that one. Oh, that one was a little worse. Oh, that one was a little worse. He's going to have stuff to think about. Sorry, it's something in my hair. But yeah, I think Alex Pereira is just going to be able to march him down, chop at that lead leg. It's gonna be tough because when if Jamal Hills fights primary southpaw, there's a chance that he figures out Alex Pereira's leg kick timing, but no one has. No one's figured out the leg kick timing. The leg kick cheat code himself, Israel Adesanya, has no answers. Jan Blachowicz, who checked almost every single one of Israel Adesanya's leg kicks, could not time Alex Pereira's leg kicks to save his life. I don't think Jamal Hill is going to be able to. I mean, it's a little easier him being a southpaw. But even the lead leg kicks, if Alex Pereira is just little slapping kicks to the right leg of Jamal Hill, that's going to it's going to grow and grow, and Jamal Hill's going to be thinking about his leg. He's going to be thinking about all the physical therapy he just went through. He's going to be it's going to be a hard fight for him. Jamal Hill, great fighter though. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think this is a very close fight. I think that Jamal Hill can totally knock out Alex Pereira because Alex does leave his hands down. He acts like he still has the 10-ounce gloves. He'll put his guard up, here, because he's used to being able to just put his hands up and guard from with 10-ounce gloves. That's so much easier. So, I mean, Jamal Hill could land one of those knockouts, and we could see another Looney Tunes knockout from Jamal Hill. But I just don't see it. I see it a check left hook with Jamal Hill and his bad footwork. Alex Pereira is just too well trained. He's seen too many striking matches you can't get away with bad footwork against Alex Pereira. That will be the doom of you. So I'm going to take Alex Pereira. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.